get off the ground. With every step that you'll be taking, make sure you take a long hard look. And one thing to always remember, the cover can't help you judge the book. Look before you leave, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of Look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peep. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you're sure about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're mad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump. Once you leave the rock, don't jump. And no turning back. No, no. Think about it, my brother. Don't invest in anything you don't know about. And don't take chances if you are ever in doubt. You must thoroughly investigate. You can afford to make no mistake. But by the time you realize, it's already late. Peter shooting at what you can see, or looking for needles in the dark. Are you in a hurry going somewhere, but the horse is behind the cart? I saw people who thought by all means they made all the right decisions. Now they're living with so much regrets. They jump from the pot to the frying pan. Look before you leave, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of Look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peep. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you're sure about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're bad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump. Once you leave the rock, don't jump. And no turning back. No, no. Try to avoid disaster. No, 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 my brother. Don't go. No, no. After everything now, at the end of the day, you are the one who have the final say. So whether it's jobs or relationships or even elections, the mandate is always there resting in your hands. Man, don't venture if it's looking blurry. You don't know what's behind closed curtain. You know what you had for the past years, but you don't know what's coming in. You don't want to see that the outcome is something that you always feared. Avoid self-disgust when it's over and the smoke is already cleared. Look before you leave, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of Look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peek. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you're sure about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're mad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump. Once you leave the rock, don't jump. Ain't no turning back. No, no. Let us avoid disaster.
Girl, you're tempting me. Get you right on the beat. Put the song on repeat. Let me sing to this girl.
And good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, and a Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
And I'm Devon Romain.
Yeah, Devon in a good mood this morning.
Yeah, in a happy mood.
Good morning, Mr. Watts.
Good morning, Mr. Watts. Oh.
Zingo! Don't try that one.
Yeah, Zingo, don't try that now. I know you're outside. Don't play you trying that and sneaking on us and thing. We on to you a long time.
In fact, I know you're here a couple of days now. You just reached yesterday. You're here a couple of days. So don't try that. I'm waiting on you.
Yeah. Don't try that at all. Mr. Watts, good morning to you and your entire family.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, sir. Much appreciated. And all the love is there.
Don't cry on it. Don't cry on it. Don't cry. Come now, man. We just only cry when there's certain dates. We don't cry today. Yes, indeed, folks. It is another Hard Talk. And indeed, we're live on 97.5. Yes, the beautiful City Sound FM broadcasting from River Road in St. George. And we say a special good morning to all the staff down there at City Sound.
And CRFM. Yeah, up there in Manjaloo, Campus International, 89.5. Right out there, we listening. All of you listening to us on that via 89.5. Good morning to you, and hey, it's a beautiful Friday morning.
Yes, indeed, out there in Carriacou. Yeah, the home of the beautiful Lisa Marie.
Yeah.
All right, yes. The island of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We say a very special good morning to our listeners via 92.9. Also, because I start to get cussed with when I don't say it, those of you listening in St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands via the 92.9 frequency, who tune in every single day to listen to what's going on down in Grenada. But there's some people up in St. Vincent and think they love hard talk. They love it. Yeah, boy, the stick on 92.9. So them say that all the day can't be the normal. The day can't be the same if they don't listen to hard talk.
Exactly. That 2 hours of just
Big Quay Union Island and
lower down to the South Tobago.
Yeah.
And all these. I mean,
Manzanilla down there in Trinidad. It have some people outside of Grenada say they say much, but they can't be normal. Yeah, it's like I do have breakfast. I must listen to hard talk. Yeah, so we say good morning to all of you.
And in New York City, 94.9, We Vibes Radio in Brooklyn. Yeah, Wade.
With our best buddy, Wade. Otherwise known as Kunumunu.
Kunumunu.
Hey, good morning to you, Kunumunu.
And how you doing in that wap taxi?
Yeah, man, whapping, real whapping. It's a hell of a thing to try and multitask and trying to do some other work on the computer and do the work here and all sorts of things. But one thing I made sure that I did, with the exception of the Prime Minister's presentation, because the internet started to play hide and go seek. So I could not have followed the Prime Minister's presentation. But I did listen to the presentation of the other ministers, and Devon, a lot of information came out in that Parliament sitting.
We miss a lot.
First of all, when it comes to the Ministry of Health, good morning to you. Let's say a special good morning to the Honorable Nicholas Steele.
Yeah.
Or as I know him, Nicky.
Yeah. The man of steel.
You know, strange enough, Nicky is not an individual that say you must call him Minister Steele or Honorable Steele or Parliamentary Representative Steele. For all intents and purposes, he's Nicky.
Yeah.
You understand? And he's easy to talk to.
Very easy. I mean, unlike what a lot of people say, Nicky, basically, I mean, he lived down in Lansapine. But you see that River Road right there? Since he was a little boy, he there with his father moving around everybody. So he's
playing basketball and
he's not just that person just down on the south, but he been mingling from since he was young, before he started secondary school, coming around. I would know because I used to go Backstreet Wesley All School right there, and we had to pass right in front of Toyota every day to go to and from school. So you know.
Yeah, my good partner. And Jamari partner too. Yeah, that's Jamari partner.
and the Ministry of Health, Sheldon, I mean,
with little children, you know, if you're asking them, they say Dr. Mitchell and things. Strange enough, the name Nicholas Steele has come. Little children does know him. And that does say a lot when little children could identify you as a politician. It does say a lot when little children
could see you, they could say, oh, that is Minister Steele.
Yeah.
Or that is Dr. Mitchell. I mean, that is.
I know he has some wonderful plans for the South that he's starting to implement. A lot of it building on what was done by the former parliamentary representative, the Honorable Alexandra Otway Noel. Okay. And he has a lot of plans, some of them different to what she had, but he's building on a lot of what she would have already achieved. So we're going to see a lot of stuff happening in the South. We already see that the roads and them does get problem because, boss, we just get a real problem going on in the South there, you know, by traffic. Because everybody has some sort of business or wants to go down in the South for entertainment and that kind of thing. So it's always the place to be, the busy place. That's why a place like Spiceland Mall had to expand. They expand. So now they have the cooperative bank. They have a major facility there. Digicel also has a major facility there. There's a sports goods store there as well. Terra Caribbean.
Real estate,
So a lot of different businesses have moved into that new section. if they did not realize that the accessibility was there and the volume of traffic of customers was there, they would not have done it. Yeah, because they have the volume is why they're doing it.
Exactly.
Right? So
I
we
think,
see that, and we see many other things down there.
I think I suspect the plans might be already, in motion in terms of opening some of the additional road or making it more accessible to get to and from Granans. Because
I know that is one of the things that was being looked at, because in conversation with some people, Brian, I could say his name, in conversation with Brian, and also with my good friend down at Garfield's Bar, Garfield and so, they were pointing out several roads that have become unused that if reopened would make accessibility in the south of the island a lot easier. And also they were speaking about a particular road in the morning to the back by Fantasia or so. That could be an alternative route down to the airport if opened up and so.
Opened up and thing, because
so it could be an alternative route down to the airport.
Right down to the airport.
Yeah.
So
all the soldiers and them would know them things.
Because
all they used to use all them things.
That's where the base of operation, especially during the invasion, man.
I would have one and them wanted to go down and fire thing at them American when they was passing. Yeah.
Not wanted to.
American government are listening, are selling them out.
Not wanted to. The good thing I ain't fire nothing down on the south. It's by the fish market I wanted to fire thing, but so much of people, so much of
good
civilians.
Good sense prevailed. You would not have been alive, and too much Grenadians might have died.
And too much Grenadians would have died.
So we okay with that.
Good sense prevail, man.
Hey, Steve Theodore. Good morning to you, sir.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
But Steve Theodore, listen, during the 1990s, that's why Steve Theodore was a staple when it comes to Soca Monarch. Every year, Steve and Soca Monarch,
They sticking on you.
Yeah, Steve Theodore. Every year you had Steve Theodore in the Soca Monarch, and I think he used to make it to the March Gras once or twice as well. We didn't have Groovy Monarch until
lately.
And Steve is a man could make it in Groovy Monarch and then Parang. Yeah, let's get some nice Parang music from Steve Theodore as well.
I'd love to see a return, perhaps the whole question of extempo. And so,
extempo, and there was a competition that used to take place on the Wednesday or Thursday after Carnival at Fantasia, Talk Calypso. Talk Calypso used to be real nice. Yeah, Talk Calypso. So you had to actually go and talk your Calypso.
A creative way of, we Grenadians, we good at that. We could, when it comes to culture, we very, we could multitask in terms of, our languages, our, how we put out our presentation, everything, we good, anyhow, let's, we are in the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, we were talking about the south of the island. And I know through one of the presentations that was made at the Parliament sitting, in order to ease the traffic congestion, not only in the town of St. George, but in other towns and areas as well, there were several suggestions. And Minister Bowen spoke of them in terms of immediate implementation. Yeah. So these are some things we'll be seeing over the next few months being implemented. Yeah. One of them, to deal with the traffic congestion in the town of St. George, will be basically a park and ride, so that the area, the car park at the Grenada National Stadium, that's one of the ideas, can be utilized, and you use the car park at the Grenada National Stadium, so persons pay a fee for parking for a particular period of time, but that fee also enables them to get on a shuttle that takes them from the stadium over to town. Yes. There'd be other things that have to be looked at as well for those that don't want to wait on the shuttle or so on, making sure that boardwalk right before House of Lords there. Yeah, just before House of Lords under that big tree. That boardwalk is repaired, and then somebody ran into the boardwalk on Sunday.
Man, imagine if it was...
Yeah. Ooh. They damage it bad.
Real bad.
So that's one of the ideas, because you tend to find a lot of what's happening is that you have a lot of traffic because there are some people parking up in town. In my view, the only people that should be parking out on the streets in town should be, and not even delivery vehicles as such. I think there are times that delivery vehicles
Should be
in town making deliveries. There should be a specified time. Because if all vehicles just decide I could go and make a delivery now and I could go and make a delivery now, you'll still end up with the same problem. The taxis definitely have to be in town.
Yes, they have to.
So where they are on Granby Street there,
it's a good location
yeah,
for them.
where they are on Halifax Street as well, right around like on the L around Farm and Garden Center. I think that's a good area. Leave the taxi men and them there. Right. But I think just them really should be in town. You tend to think some people have a business in town and they just want to park in front of the business, and so particularly around when you're going up Halifax Street along by the Scotia Bank, Bargain House area there, you always have some vehicle just
parked there
making you nearly drive in the drain.
Yeah.
And I surprised that it's parked there because somebody always scratching one of them vehicle too. So I don't know how to just do that.
Yeah,
but anyway.
But that day, man, it's something has to be done, and I know the government is basically on the move already when it comes to that.
So that's one excuse me, that's one of the areas, one of the ways of dealing with the traffic congestion in the town, to eradicate everybody just park all sorts of places and so. Because as I said before, Grenadians definitely have to be the best drivers on the face of the earth. Because when you look at some place, for instance, like St. Jules Street, that's going down by Hood Glass place there, and you realize somebody park up on the side of the road,
and buses
buses, trucks passing there. Trucks does pass there.
Easy, you know. Take the time and go down. Man, it's amazing, you know.
Trucks passing there. Buses passing there. Man, I sure if you take a tank and you give a Grenadian to drive, they could pass it there too. But when you look at the space,
I'm telling you,
a person who is not a Grenadian going to look at that space and say there's no way another vehicle could come down there. But we Grenadian, RL room, what do we RL room there?
That been going on for years, you know, Sheldon. Not just now, I mean, these streets and them there, when something is packed, you see. I mean,
but you tend to find that the direction that vehicles are heading now are the bigger vehicles. Not wider, because I tend to think in the early 80s and 70s we had some wider vehicles. So them
big Chevy and Holden and them kind of things.
Could I take 3 people sit down in front, so them wider than a bus that we have now.
Oh yes, yes, for real.
You tend to find that we have a lot of bigger vehicles coming in now and so on. So it's creating congestion in some areas. Another area that has a lot of congestion is when you've come up St. John. Well, some people don't know what we're talking about. Some people don't know St. Jules from St. John.
Yes.
But anyway, you come up St. John Street. So that's the street after you come out from the terminal and you come straight up towards the church. The church, right.
Right up to the church.
So you're going up St. John Street and you make that left right into some set of vehicles park up there.
You make a left into Grenville Street or from the church, or you're talking on top?
On top.
Straight
right
on top by
not
Convent.
Grenville. So you're going right up on top towards Convent. So you make the turn to go up by Convent. And then there's some vehicles parked up at the side there.
Including Miss Joseph.
Half of your tire had to be basically in the drain sometime.
Off.
According to how the person parked, half of your tire have to be in the drain. Or you have to hope that they didn't put an extra coat of paint on your vehicle because you won't touch somebody. So that is an area again that we have that problem. But government has seen the problem and is working towards addressing it. So the area around the Queen's Park, the parking lots, the minister was saying that those areas, they're thinking of doing, it's not finalized, something has to come to cabinet in relation to it, but they're thinking of doing a park and ride there. So you park there in the day, you have your vehicle but you're working in town, you park there, you pay a fee, whether it's for the day or whatever, you park there, and then you take the shuttle, brings you over to town.
And bring you back later on.
And you go back later on. So you don't have to worry about...
Using the ticket stub that you pay for your...
But probably you need to learn to walk a little bit too.
I mean...
Vehicle thing, you have to walk a little bit.
5 minutes. It's 5 minutes from the stadium.
Unless rain falling, walk a little bit.
You know? Unless you're extra late or whatever. But I mean, that's a short distance.
Yeah, so that is being looked at. Another thing that's being looked at is the eradication of parking in the south of the island, especially in the Grand Anse Valley between prescribed hours. And I think that's a good idea. They've been working along with the businesses in the south of the island, and in particular, that Grand Anse Valley is the one that has it the worst. You have some areas there that by the time the vehicles park, it just creates a situation where Grand Anse Valley, certain sections become one-way traffic. So the idea is to eradicate parking in those areas between specific times so that people will not be parking in those areas. Let's say they don't park there between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Because you may have people that live in the area that they go in and park their vehicle down by Camahorn Park and then come in Grand Anse Valley. So they need a place to park when they're home and that sort of thing. So some sort of system is being worked out now, along with some of the businesses and residents and so on in areas like the Grand Anse Valley. That's one of the areas that was mentioned for sure that is having that problem. And there may be other areas as well in the south of the island and around the island. You have that problem in the town of Guave. Yeah. Guave, an area that on the main street in Guave, it becomes one-way traffic when it can be two-way traffic. And sometimes you find yourself in a situation there where the people come up behind you and you're jamming a situation there, and it's like you're trying to untie something that really difficult to untie.
But you know, another area in town of St. George that is hectic is that Lucas Street. That Lucas Street on a mornings between a certain time. Now, I think the police officers, traffic department have put some regulations within a particular hour. You understand that it's one way. But I think they need to look at it more in terms of the parking on that Lucas Street from the junction with that Old Fort Road to go right down to Market Hill. That parking area there, I mean, it's become... So imagine there's a bus stop right in front of the Methodist Church right there, okay? Sometimes when a bus stops right there, depends on who parks on the next side, a whole line of traffic is held up until that person, exit the bus right there. So you have traffic holding up. If there was no vehicles parked on that side, because that's a one-way going down, then you have free access going down. So definitely,
So a review is being done about the parking in different areas.
It's a work in progress.
And you already have that situation where entry onto Archibald Avenue, you remember it's blocked off at a certain time. You can only enter into that at a certain time on mornings and so on, then it's opened out and so. So we're looking at that entire holistic approach to how we address the traffic, because already we have a further increase in vehicles. You have the car boat would have been here twice within the last week. That means that you have a significant number of vehicles. I see the person with the white writing on them and the demo plates on them.
A lot of them on the port still.
Yeah. You have a lot on the port, you have a lot that came off the port, and you have over 200 waiting in a sister country to come over to Grenada within the next week or so. They just need transport to bring them over. So there's a lot of vehicles on the island.
There's vehicles coming for the carnival, man. They come and enjoy themselves.
But
Depot is in traffic. Don't block.
Yes, indeed.
And but another thing again that is, well, I don't know if there's any other space within St. George's in particular to erect car parks, additional car parks, and so I would really hope, that government in the planning, the physical planning, and so if they don't have it in progress, to look at areas within the town of St. George where you can add an additional car park or some private person
what I
get
can
into
say
that,
is that the initial plans by Volker Stevenson had been that the area outside of the Grenada National Stadium, that's leading up to Cherry Hill, between Cherry Hill and the fish market, would have been reclaimed. If that had been done, we would have had sufficient parking. It would have changed the aesthetics of the town. Yes, it would have changed the aesthetics of the town, but it would have also created additional parking so that we could have had areas in town that could have been just walk. In fact, in my view, and it is something that I think the ministries need to look at, Devon, I would suggest that they do look at it, would be that Sendall Tunnel should not have traffic going through it. It should be foot traffic only.
Yeah, it should be a
We
footpath.
have to get to that stage.
It should be a footpath.
Yes, Sendall Tunnel, in my view, should just be a footpath.
Or emergency vehicles only.
Mm-hmm.
Police and ambulance.
I know the reason it's still used is that then you're going to have to reroute traffic and so on, and it's just going to cause traffic congestion if you do it, because Sendall Tunnel was created so that it could shorten your time between one side of town and the next side of town. That's the reason they created Sendall Tunnel in 1898?
Yeah,
1898 or 1889 or something.
Somewhere around there in the late 100s. But you know that idea of that ring road around there, around the hospital and so would have been an excellent idea if plans had continued, right? And so would have been another thing I always looked at.
One section before we go. The only way though to create that footpath from the Sendall to hold the pointer through the Sendall Tunnel was that what was going to be done is that an area would have been reclaimed that went around from by White Cane Industries, connecting the carronage back over to the reclaimed portion, the already reclaimed portion in town, so that traffic coming up from the Grand Dance area would pass along the carronage, go around the back of the hospital in that reclaimed area, would just be basically like a roadway, not an area for people to go and just a roadway. So it would go around there and come around to the other side and go back into town and go up the west coast. So that would have, in some instances, it would have helped the flow of traffic.
Oh yeah, it would have helped.
Definitely helped the flow of traffic.
Yeah.
You could have probably make the entire carronage two-way in that instance.
And then easier access to the hospital would have been much better and so.
Yeah, because you'd have had a bottom access to the hospital now. Exactly. So that was another part of that project that was being looked at as well. You're making a point though.
That I always had an idea of an emergency road or road going towards the hospital. You know, right at the foot of that tunnel there, right where a riser is there, Sheldon, where that step goes up there, right? A road, because when you look at as it is right now, all the emergency vehicles and so, when they come from, let's say, the western side or even look at how they come. They have to come down, right, Melville Street, and go into that one-way street and go up. Now, if plans perhaps in the future, that step would to go up to the hospital, if a road just could create just there, just
to go up
there,
would be
and so would be, I mean, you know. Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Morning, welcome.
Hello.
We're hearing you. Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, Sendall Tunnel was created because there was no flat path to take things from St. George's to the carronage. It was all uphill. So they had no other alternative than to bust through the walls there to get to the other side. That's why we have that tunnel today. Okay?
Yes, indeed.
Something I've seen in Grenada, down by the Grand Dance side, on the Maurice Bishop, upper part of Maurice Bishop Highway, that people could hardly go across that road there now. Traffic constantly on both sides, up and down. So what the government needs to look into is building to walk over down there for the people that work, for the kids, the school, and whoever want to go from side to side.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Thanks much.
I know what happens though during school time at the school that's down there. I can't remember the name of that particular school. I think it's the Grand Ansar RC.
Yeah, Grand Ansar.
The Grand Ansar RC, yeah.
What? Calice, yeah.
No, Calice is
further down.
So what happens there though is that LL Ramdani's staff actually come out and cross the students.
Cross the
they have some of the staff that come out on a morning time as lollipop crossing guards. They come and they stop the traffic, and the children can cross and the others can cross and so from side to side. But I agree with the caller that probably due to the increased volume in traffic, what needs to be looked at is definitely would have to look at the issue of walkovers, at least on 2 to 3 points along the Maurice Bishop Highway. High enough so that the trailers can pass through, but also that people can safely transit from one side to the other using them if and when necessary.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's a good idea as well.
Also, too, I mean, there's also another excellent road, again, heading from, alongside the Maurice Bishop Highway. That's the back road in the back of
Dusty Highway?
Dusty Highway. And
Dusty
so,
Highway is also a wonderful alternative route.
And so,
sometimes I myself use Dusty Highway sometimes when, according to what, it saves me a lot of time sometimes.
That is the original, or supposed to be the original highway to the airport, right? That Dusty Highway, based on the plans that was thing by the revolution.
And you could
that
see that
area
because
there,
it would have go around by the
exactly,
university there
and straight down.
Yeah.
You understand? That other road, the Maurice Bishop Highway, would have been like a secondary, and so, all right?
Yeah.
And but
so that would be a wonderful one. Yeah, that would be a wonderful one. I use that as an alternative, or sometimes I pass through housing scheme.
Man, he got some size of hump. Only thing he got some size of hump.
And some size of hole. Not when I say hole, not hole as in pothole.
Yeah.
But some kind of dung and
to go
up.
down.
Especially when you're going around by Mr. McDonald, Martin. Yeah, right. Down by Pumpkin and them did a piece of road to go back.
And then you have what is it, Detroit? Even again, we talking about access. That to go in by Martin, that Limes Road right there. Right? Just after the mall, small mall, by South Winds there, that Limes Road to go in there.
Yeah,
that could be another alternative road if properly fixed up. And
Mr. Minister, look at that road carefully. That Limes Road there. Yeah, at the side of the playing field. I realize that there's a water issue why it's been the way it is. Yeah. So definitely looking to that and fix
just
it. Just
as a brick on hill, right there.
Hey, Willie Weather Foundation listening to us? Let her listen. Yeah, they have to listen.
Of course.
Yeah, they better listen.
The ideas are there,
Yeah, but so when Minister Bowen spoke in Parliament, he spoke about that. I know some folks have been speaking about a statement he made. I listened to the statement, and I don't find nothing to be too. I heard him say that there is a problem. There's over. Let me get the exact thing because I made some notes in and between. There was over $70,000 that was owed to government. Over $70,000 that was owed to government by the vendors at the Grenville market. And it is a situation where some of them actually they can't pay because the business activity has been reduced for them, especially now that the bus terminal has been opened. So the buses and the volume of people are now over there. So some of the vegetable vendors and so on, they would like to relocate now from the vendors market over to the bus terminal. But the bus terminal only has a limited number of spaces. And additionally, if you're owing over at one place, they're not going to take you and bring you over to the next place for you to continue owing. There's one or two things that have to be sorted out. Again, I think he mentioned the bathrooms over there at the bus terminal and the fact that the bus terminal will be under the Port Authority and so. But in one of his closing statements, he did say that if individuals are owing, they should try and contact them rather than they come and kick them out. Try and contact the ministry. Speak with the ministry.
Have a dialogue.
So, but that's what he was saying, basically. And then he was interrupted by the bell because they rang the bell just at that time. And he didn't go back to finish the statement. He asked for more time. And then realizing, no, he was out of time, he just continued on another point. Instead of finishing the point he was making, which even by the time the bell rang was that if you owe, instead of waiting for them to come and say, look, you have to give up the boot, go and speak to them. Go and speak to them. Because government understands, the management understands that business activity for you, the vendor in that particular area, has been reduced due to the relocation of the buses. People might have come off a bus as soon as you drop off. They see they need some okra, they see they need something, and they get one time and they roll.
Because all the buses,
they have to come across and look for you to find it.
Because the market was basically surrounded by all the different buses, you know. If you check the different road right around the market, there were buses at the back, to the front, on the side, and the traffic was more, you know, heavy around there. Now
it was easier too, because you have your bags at groceries
and the bus is right there.
The bus right there, so you just onto the bus and you're gone. But now, for instance, there may be somebody that's selling it closer to the bus terminal, and what that is doing now, it's encouraging some people to go and sell on the streets.
Yeah,
you know. So that's why Minister was simply saying, if you're one of the vendors who are at the market and you owe, just have a discussion with management. Some of them were written to and so on, and some just ignore the letter. They mean what? All you go put us out, all you can't put us out. So they just ignore the letter. They have the letters and they just ignore it. They don't respond, they don't bother with them, they don't nothing, and they just continue.
That is not
every
good.
month again, remember, another fee is going on it, another fee is going on it, another fee is going on it. So he's simply saying that government ain't beast, the management is not beast. Speak to them.
Have
you
a
might
dialogue,
be able to say, look, we go write off that amount and you're going to pay this amount instead. You have to pay something, but you won't pay this amount instead.
Ask for a haircut.
Oh, we're going to, ask for a haircut.
Ask for a haircut.
Government does ask for a haircut, you could ask for a haircut too. Once it's not me and Devon, we ain't asking for no haircut.
No
we don't ask for a
us.
haircut. No.
You understand?
We
we
might take a shave.
Additional here, we go take a shave.
No, you ask for a haircut.
Yeah. No, serious, take a haircut.
Take a haircut.
Negotiate with them and say, look, based on the situation here, this is where we at, right? I owe this. I'm willing to pay that, and you know, give me a haircut, and let's see how we go from there.
Yeah.
The government is the people, right? And that's
also in Minister Bowen's, and we sort of came off of Minister Steele, but we won't come back to him because there's some important aspects to deal with there. But while we're on Minister Bowen's presentation, we'll continue on it because it had a lot to do with the South and other areas as well. He spoke about resizing some of the roundabouts. He says, for instance, to ease that traffic congestion, I don't know if you've been around by Sugar Mill roundabout at 4 o'clock in the evening. Forget it, bro.
Too much roundabout there, man.
Yeah, so what he's saying is reduce on the size of the roundabout and technically on the flow. To make it easier for traffic coming from the airport direction heading into the valley, for traffic coming out of Lansepine heading into town, for traffic coming out of Montu, heading down to the airport and so on. So reducing the size of some of the roundabouts and sort of changing their configuration slightly so that you can ease the flow of traffic in some areas, right? I think his Uncle Gary did make some of them roundabout, but in them days they didn't have much vehicle and thing too, so they could have asked them
exactly,
there. But no, we had to change.
Yeah, they have to change. Right, even right down there at in front of Sirek Matthew Gary complex right there, and so
you had to reduce on us.
I mean, there's a lot of space there that you can make traffic much easier.
Remember, in times gone by, that was the main hub. Vehicles heading to and from town is up there. They used to pass on Port Highway and Lagoon Road. Right, vehicles came out from Belmont and they came down Paddock. That's nearly everything going Granans.
Truck, bus.
Yeah, nothing used to go down on Lagoon Road.
Going on there. Donkey cart and all.
Yeah, so they used to pass through Belmont Road, go down through I just said the name of the place. Paddock. And going through to that roundabout and then onto town. Now it's changed that the majority volume of traffic is on the Port Highway. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that, especially with more and more vehicles coming in and some changes taking place, that the volume of traffic in the Tantine area will not increase. Because if you look at a morning time and you look at that traffic going down the hill right there, going down the lane, heading into Tantine, and so
you, man, it's crazy. You know,
so we spoke about that. Yeah. You also spoke about another issue that's affecting traffic in a lot of areas, and even quite recently, over the weekend, I was passing in a particular area, and I saw a road. I was in St. John, and I saw a road that had a big hole at the side of the road. But when you look on the other side of the road, there was a vehicle up on some bricks and so on. So like somebody was doing some repairs to the vehicle. They left it there, so it looked like it was there for a couple years now. And due to the fact that people had to be veering away from that vehicle, they kept making an indentation on the other side until it became more like a crater than a pothole
going down,
on the other side, because they had to keep pulling away from that vehicle. So the minister in his presentation also spoke about the roadside garages and the importance of bringing them properly into the fold. So let's face it, we had to get rid of this roadside garage.
Yeah, it must.
It can't work because you already have a narrow road. Then somebody go in and have a roadside garage where they put about 5 and 6 vehicles at the side of the road, and then the road starts to get damaged because people have to drive on the edge now to get away from those vehicles, and then some of those vehicles end up staying there for years. So, he was speaking about registration of garages, because there is a law in place that garages are supposed to be registered and paying a yearly fee to operate. It also would lend to a listing being created of the services being offered by various garages. For instance, if you're a bodywork man, you're a bodywork man. You're listed as a bodywork man. You dealing with engine and hydraulics and so on, you're listed for that. If you're dealing with, for instance, electrical, you're listed for that. So that garages would be listed and so on, but also that we get out of this idea of anybody just putting up a garage, a roadside garage, with blocking traffic, with damaging the road. It has to end.
Serious accident. Look, for example, there's one impact I pass every day. That's Snow Corner, right in the junction, Snow Corner, there, Bolio Snow Corner, going up that hill. When you come from Annandale coming down, that little piece of hill there is a garage basically in some bushes. But on the roadside, Sheldon, and you pass there, you must notice that. Sometimes 5, 6 vehicles packed on the left-hand side if you're going up, on the right-hand side coming down. Mm-hmm. And in my view, it's a disaster, an accident, serious accident waiting to happen, because vehicles come down that day around that corner flying, and as you bend that corner, there's a vehicle right there. What's up with a vehicle coming up with the same speed on one side? It creates basically a one-way traffic.
Yeah, so the traffic
dangerous
issue.
Yeah,
and you know, I think a lot of discussion has to take place. I think the minister did mention that they'll be meeting with the National Bus Association and the various bus associations, because I think hardly anybody understands the road as much as the busmen, because they're passing on it every day, multiple times, all hour of the day, all hour of the night. Somebody going down to the hospital, they call one of the busmen.
They could tell you where any pipe bus on the side of the road on their route.
It's like a network. So it's important for them to speak to them. The minister also spoke in particular about a night transportation system in conjunction with the National Bus Association, the various bus associations, the National Bus Association, and with the different entities in the south of the island, the hotel sectors and so on.
Yes.
So whether it's the call centers and the hotels and all of them, because we're still having that problem. And up to this week, I've been speaking to some young ladies and some young men who are living in the north of the island, would like to avail themselves of opportunities in the south of the island. But again, it means that they would have to move down and find a place to rent. And by the time they get the salary that's being offered for some of these jobs, it doesn't make any sense. Because by the time you rent and you pay for your utilities and you pay for food at that location and still have to give money to the countryside location, you have no money. It doesn't make any sense to them. Unless they have a relative or so that's living down in the south that they can live with. And we know how that goes sometimes. Sometimes people like you by them, but only for a short period of time. So we know how that goes. So the best option is for government to work along with the different entities to create that transportation system. And it's one or two ways.
It has to be done.
Government is doing it now with the bus associations, and so they're having that discussion with the bus associations and so. And as I said, these are the immediate things that the Ministry of Works has been working on since the new National Party has returned to office, and the things that they're going to implement in the next few months and they're going to see rolling out. We have that problem that every now and again, young ladies find themselves in some very compromising situations, having to go and stand up by Keep Left, not even knowing the person who is offering them a ride going up the West Coast or going over the hills or so on. We cannot allow that to continue. So government, and I know MP Boson has been one of the persons that have been speaking out on that. Every so often he's been speaking out about that. So that's one of the areas that's being looked at closely. And not just looked at, but you have something actually taking place, and implementation taking place for a nighttime transport service to get people out of those jobs in the south of the island to their various locations, whether it's up the east coast, up the west coast, wherever, but to get them there so that you will have a structured thing with buses leaving at particular times. There has been this suggestion by different persons that government buy some buses and do it. But you have,
That makes sense.
if you look at the terminal right now, you have millions of dollars. I'm not exaggerating. It's millions of dollars. A brand new bus is 100,000. I'm sure that you have a few well on the terminal right now.
Granite Town alone have about 60, Grenville about 60
Right.
plus
A
buses.
brand new bus is 100,000.
Brand new.
So you literally have millions of dollars worth of buses on the terminal or on the roads right now. Millions of dollars worth. It makes no sense for government to go and buy buses unless these buses absolutely refuse to provide the service. It makes no sense for government now to go and spend a pile of money to get buses and then have to fix buses and then have to pay people to drive when a person who owns their own transport, works along within a system, can make an additional money. They do the trip in the night and they're making a little additional money and that kind of thing. Yeah? That the money you pay the bank might just be from the night trip and the rest of the day might be your profit, you know.
Serious.
The night trip money might be your money for the bank on a
Because-
monthly basis, and the day trip is just your money for put in the bank and do what you have to do.
I'll tell you, Sheldon, if I was a businessman who have that sort of cash, I will invest, right, in collaboration with the Ministry of Works and some of the bus associations. I will invest a couple of buses just to do the night route, just to do the night flight.
Well, you're lucky you're not the money. You know,
I'm telling you, I'm moving from bus terminus to bus terminus, from Tong to Sotes to Grenville back to Tong, using both the east and west. Simple.
I was getting at 2 o'clock in the morning trip and all.
2 o'clock, leaving at any point.
Go online by your girlfriend late. You get in bus to
go. From Grenville, 2 o'clock, you're getting one to come down to Tong, either over the hills or on the eastern side. From Sotes to come to Grenville or to come to St. George's, you're getting on the western side. Every hour or so, you have a particular bus. So you can plan and everything like that. Eventually, you know, somebody may come up with that idea, or the money and come up with that. And it won't take much, you know, a couple of buses. Because if you have the buses running every hour, you don't need 20 and 30 buses.
But we're still on one minister and we under our left.
Yes.
So anyway, let me quick it up. So yeah, national transportation, nighttime transport, island wide from the south of the island and so on to get people from location to location. Also, Minister, we mentioned the resizing of the roundabouts and that sort of thing. Also, Deepo, we ain't forget you're coming to your issue in a little while.
What you say? It's a plus for Uncle and the Revo. They didn't need no referendum to make necessary changes. Yes, Deepo.
Yes, indeed. The debushing program, many persons have been asking about the debushing program. You would remember that previous to the 2008 general election, the new National Party administration had taken the approach of having some environmental wardens. So you had people, for instance, up in St. Andrew, you had some that were tasked on a monthly basis. They were not coming out on a fortnight and so. On a monthly basis, they would do their different schedules. They would have to clean Telescope Beach, keep Telescope Beach clean, so that you wouldn't have seaweed or garbage or anything on Telescope Beach or along the beach. Hope Beach was another beach that had that sort of thing, and Cabier, I believe, had it as well. So you had different beaches that had those environmental wardens. So government is going back into that structure with I think they said 64 groups of persons. I can't remember 64 persons or 64 groups. I think it's 64 crews that are going to be placed around the island to do that. Yeah, so you'll have different areas that they are tasked with keeping clean, and they will be paid on a monthly basis. Now, the equipment that they're going to be used is equipment like wheelbarrows, rakes, cutlasses, etc., etc., weed eaters, whatever it is. The basic equipment is being purchased by government, but these groups that are being put together will pay back government for them. So let's say $3,000 is spent on equipment every month. They'll be paying back, whether it's 100, whether it's 200. As a group, they'll be paying back that to government until they pay to earn. You own it after a period of time. So that's so that they can start as soon as possible, instead of having to wait and then go and try and find the equipment or go to the bank and get a loan to go and get the equipment, that they can start nearly immediately, as soon as government has secured all of the equipment for a particular group, that they can start that process. So moving from the position of the environmental wardens right now to the road wardens, because these people wouldn't just be on beaches and that sort of thing, but also there's that problem of drain and culvert maintenance.
Yes, key.
Now, one of the main reasons we're having problems with some of the roads around our island is exactly that, drain and culvert maintenance.
Blockage.
Yeah, they're being blocked up. And when they're blocked up, the water overflows. Now, it looks like it's just running water, but we know that running water wears away rock.
Exactly.
So guess what it's doing to asphalt and concrete? It's eating away. Sometimes even the soil underneath is being eaten away, and you tend to see the asphalt looking sort of wavy. And you see it in the pattern of water, because what is happening is water is passing underneath because a drain or a culvert is blocked, and it's causing the road to eat away. So another thing that these road wardens would be doing would be cleaning, constantly cleaning, keeping them clean, not going and clean them every now and again, but keeping them clean on a monthly basis. The drains and the culverts around the island. Yeah, and I know a good friend of mine in Grand Anse who calls and complains every time about that drain,
yes.
right? And
In Grand Anse,
and
yeah,
I ain't hear her call for a while, but it's because she may be fed up and she may decide she's taking a rest.
Definitely.
But I agree with her because I passed there and I see what she's speaking about, right?
Good news now.
So those
that, you know.
those drains and those, yeah, Nas, don't try and send no picture with Zingo to us. We know in Power FM now, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
stay-
we know where he there.
stay-
We tracking him.
Yeah, stay there. You better stay there.
We have GPS on him.
Yeah.
He can't get away.
You can't, you understand?
And the man have beer in his hand this early morning. No, Zingo, yeah, no behavior. Anyhow,
Good.
yeah. So that's one of the things. The third area that the road wardens, environmental wardens will be getting into, and this is outside of some of the people who will still be doing the bushing. So you'll have these 64 crews engaged, and you'll still have some people who do the little debushing and so in different areas. But you will also have, so some people who usually do the bushing, you may find yourself in one of these groups, and instead of a fortnight, you're going to have a permanent job. Every month you're receiving something, which is much better. So that is the system that's being put in place now. Well, a lot of people have been waiting. What taking place with the bushing? What taking place with the bushing?
Structure.
It's because they're putting the structure in place so that you can have these different groups doing the work, different areas. And the third area that they're going to be working in is on farms.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing a lot of work on farms. And from the presentation by the Minister of Agriculture, and she had a lot to say. In fact, I think I need to do a whole program just with the minister. Yeah. Because there's going to be a focus with 105 farmers right now on propagation of soursop, cocoa, nutmeg, spices, and avocado. And also, some of these teams of people will be dealing with the farm roads access, because some of the farm roads, they overgrown. Some of them, they have things in them since Ivan, nobody even bother with it. But you have a pile of nutmeg trees under vine in that area, or cocoa under vine in that area. So these teams of persons that the Ministry of Works have been speaking about are going to be working with the Ministry of Agriculture and these 105 farmers to help clear lands, clear cocoa fields, clear fields for banana, clear fields for different things. So they're going to focus mainly though on soursop, which is one of our major exports right now. Soursop, cocoa, nutmegs, spices, and avocado. Yeah, and there's also a lot of GT is telling me he's getting some drops, but that's not on our end, bro. I ain't seen I have nothing recorded here. So that's on your end, GT. Check it out. Nice, yeah. So that's one of the things. Also, as we mentioned, agriculture. Going back on Ministry of Works and then we go into health and so. But when it comes to the Ministry of Agriculture, as of yesterday, they are offering for sale 38,356 plants have been propagated and are being offered for sale out of Maribo. So those of you looking for plants, as of yesterday, they launched the program. You know, it's a yearly program. And remember, it's not free. You go with money. You have to buy them thing. Ain't free. You go in and buy. So you might get your sauce up. You might get different type of mango. You might get a local sugar apple. You get different plants. Citrus and thing does have. You know what it does have.
Yeah, citrus. A wide variety.
Yeah.
cocoa, different type of citrus, different
Who's the
type of
agriculture that
mangoes.
again?
Boy, I don't know.
Right. So
I don't know whether to say that.
38,356. 38,356. Minister Yolan Bain Hosford, if your hand long enough, give yourself a pat on the back. In fact, Mr. Steve Hosford, give her a pat on the back for us. Yeah? Nice. I know she ain't home, but when she come home. Right. Yeah.
A nice tap on the back. And that's, and to all the farmers and those of you who are going to purchase these plants, plan them. Don't leave them under the house.
But they're spending money for them, so if they want to waste their money, it's up to them.
Yeah, but you know,
boss man, I would suggest you plant it because the money could bring money.
The money could bring money, and so plan them. Agriculture is on the move, right? It's a whole revitalization of how we do agriculture before.
Yeah.
Right? Broadening.
Here's what Anelli call is Zingo because Zingo and they messaging me. Yeah, Nazim, stop messaging me. Right, yeah. So, no, not that Nazim, my Nazim. Right. Also, we're going back on work just now. 253 farmers got training. That's just for this period, so far for the year. 253 farmers have got training in pest management, in soil and water conservation. So learning how to do irrigation without getting your soil oversaturated and losing the nutrients in your soil. So soil conservation, irrigation, water conservation, and so on. And also a major component that they've been through with some of these farmers, using the sargassum seaweed in composting for fertilizer on your farms. All you go tell me the Ministry of Agriculture ain't working. Minister, you had them hot, girl.
Yeah, headed by Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford.
Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford, you're dropping it like it's hot.
Yeah. She's a farmer, so, but not because she's a woman she can't deliver. She has been delivering. Why do you think Dr. Michelin move her in his cabinet reshuffle and on his new cabinet after the March 13th election? Because he understands she has the vision, she has the support, and she has been doing things to accommodate the farmers of our nation, the bread basket.
Also, let me give three quick ones on agriculture again. So remember, as of yesterday, folks, farmers, non-farmers, you could go to Maribo and get your plants. That's 38,356 plants available right now. You could go and get that. Set up yourself nicely. They're using the seaweed and thing. They're doing that for the farms and so nice. I see a set of seaweed on the west coast of St. Mark's. Farmers watching that with
farmers watching that
lizard eye right now.
Say come, set the net to pull it in.
Say come. Yeah. We waiting for you.
Sooner or later, the farmers starting to fish these things out of the water to use.
But with fish, they're going for that.
Yeah. Because
so the ministry also within the period sent 5 people to Honduras. That is under a program that the Ministry of Agriculture is going to receive significant funds for to implement here in Grenada to increase agricultural production and various aspects of agriculture here in Grenada through the United Nations. So 5 persons went to Honduras to see how their program was running to assist them in implementing that program here. So when it's done properly. Not any Viking. When it's done properly. Folks, all you could call it, but I know when they get information, they like to call. So.
To listen,
yeah, that's what I do whole night last night, I listening things, so I could talk, right? The Ministry of Agriculture also had the vaccine, we ain't done with works, but the Ministry of Agriculture also has the vaccination program. They had the first outdoor clinic out in St. Mark where they were vaccinating animals and so on. And I've also personally, for the year so far, on several occasions, met the teams from the Ministry of Agriculture going around vaccinating people, dogs and your household animals, doing little vaccination. And so you see the pass with the loudspeaker, they call you out and they say bring out your dog and thing, and they bring out your dog and thing and they sort you out nicely. So congratulations, Ministry of Agriculture, and all your handling scene.
You know what I noticed in Ministry of Agriculture, when you come to that veterinary division, they have a young, energetic chief veterinary officer right now. Fresh from university.
Yeah.
Right? He's from St. Andrews. Yeah, I could boast about that.
He's fresh, you had to put lime on him.
I'm telling you, he's fresh. A lot of ideas. And he has been working together with the team in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Deepo, I forget your question.
Yeah, they have been doing real good things.
Yeah. Also, the Chinese agricultural team, technical team, they are here. And we would see in Lhasa just as well that they pretty much completed that building there. You see a massive building the Chinese put down there, and that's just in relation to agriculture, to help with agriculture and so on. So that building is there in La Sagesse. Some people passing and they didn't really realize the thing. They take a look, stop the car, don't gaze and drive, you go bounce people, right? But when you reach by the little hump and thing, if you're going up, take a look to the right, man, outside and natural works there, you go see the nice building and thing. Yeah, years ago was a look thing there.
Yeah, it was a little building.
Now you see a thing, the thing look like an apartment complex in Brooklyn. Yeah, man, the thing look nice.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Also, you have mongoose eradication.
Yes.
Yeah, they deal with the mongoose, and so, especially since they have cane co. The people who are doing that cane project, and if you're passing through St. David, you see it in different areas.
St. David's and St. Patrick's.
Yeah, different parts of the island. The thing with cane is cane invites a lot of mongoose. Mongoose love to be in between cane. That's where they just go and live.
Well,
they love it.
They used to use the mongoose and then the burn the cane fields back in the day, during the slavery time.
They used to light a mongoose.
Yeah, and run it through the cane field.
That's torturous.
No, it's helping them. I mean, okay, so you prefer to get our brothers and sisters go into the cane field and keep chopping and thinking, then you could just light a mongoose and send it through and burn the cane field and make it easier.
Folks, some people seem to be having problems with the internet. It's not originating here. For the entire week, there have been problems with both Flow and Digicel internet. So it's not originating in the studio here with us. I know one of the stations is having issues, but it's not originating here, especially since we're on a Flow fiber line. We're kind of safe. But a lot of the others have been having some problems. I myself could not access internet for a period of time this morning on my Digicel network. So I know that some persons are having problems. Please know it's not originating here. All right, yeah. So the mongoose. So they're dealing with mongoose eradication, especially since you have this project going forward with Cane Co. Where they're going to be producing that cognac up in St. David, producing that cognac, and so they have this special type of cane that they've brought in.
They have
and they want to set a mongoose in between.
And hundreds of acres already planted.
Yeah.
I mean, with cane from St. Patrick's, come down on that eastern corridor, Hope. And so St. David's, I mean, it's hundreds of acres of land in cane. Yeah. It's a beautiful site, man.
Yes, and going back to a bit for Ministry of Works, Depot say, yeah, Cammy have a private. Cammy, we have a plane. Cammy's Enterprises are playing as well.
Depot, we have she have boss.
Depot must behave.
She get a boss sell already. She have a car right now, and she have a piece of land, 15,000 square feet of land, located in Tempe, right behind DJ Bobcat, right, and so it bongs you with the river. Excellent piece of land, right? Hey, talk to Miss Cammy, right? And so you definitely get a good deal. And so hey, Cammy, you on the roll, girl. Continue.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, you can call in at any time. 440. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
Gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm really happy to hear this great news about the roads. Because I am the lady that just call all the time.
You my friend down in Granans there?
Yeah.
Yes, girl. Yeah, we had to fix that thing. I tell you, I just passed there and
but
see it.
I was waiting because the last time I called the minister, our representative in South, he was on GBN. And he said that he going to do something about it. So that's why I'm waiting to hear what is going on.
Okay.
All right.
But
nobody's a serious
if I
one.
see anything happen by a month time,
call and talk about it again.
I'll talk about it again.
Call me and say.
But I'm glad to hear great news.
Because there was that accident there that ended up blocking up traffic all the way to town. And I feel it had a lot to do with that same problem you're talking about, right outside the post office there.
And the next thing, do you enjoy in the hotel? You pass on the beach and see how the hotel is looking very nice.
I haven't walked down there. I saw some shots from overhead, some drone shots and different things.
Yeah, you should walk up on the beach, the whole beach.
And take a look.
And you will see the nice view. Only problem we have is that the seaweeds is coming up and block up right in front by the hotel there. And people can't go to the end of the beach.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which seaweed? The one that's all over or the green?
No, I think that's a normal thing,
No, the green one is a normal one.
I live in Granans. That's always come there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen the green one in Karaku too, so I wanted to know if
Yeah,
Silver
the
Sands in
green one,
Karaku.
the green one.
Yeah.
The green one.
All right,
but
my
that
dear.
used to always be there from ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Because I live in Granans all my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful, my dear. And we'd like to thank you for continuing to look after your community.
Yeah, I will continue.
Yes, my dear. Thank you so very much.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, take
Wonderful.
care.
Bye.
Yes, man.
Wonderful.
She make sure and she call us.
Yeah. She have
Yeah.
to because
And she's looking out. She's not saying it because she just wants to say something. She's saying it because it need to fix.
it need to something has to be done about it.
But it's a broader thing because I think it have a kind of tunnel passing under
oh
the
yeah,
road
to
there
go
that has to
a
be
huge
cleaned out.
tunnel, yeah.
But in some of those instances, because those tunnels were not serviced properly
Over
for a
the
period of
years,
time,
yeah.
they think they're like cement under there.
Yeah,
you know.
there's some huge
It have one
boulders.
down by me is like
Yeah.
cement, you know.
And sometimes loose boulders get away
You might-
and get in
You
there
might
and
actually have to break the road in some instances
to clear
and
out.
clear it and
Yeah,
then
and then rebuild
put
it
in a
back,
box drain system or something there to get rid of it. But that's just one of the things. I was just the green algae that is speaking about. I was at the beach, Aquarium Beach, just this weekend. It's down there too. Itano Silver Sands down there. I've seen photos of it in Kariakou. Itano Silver Sands up there. So for Dum Dum and friends who so stupid that they continue to say that it's being caused by anything that Silver Sands is doing, I didn't realize Silver Sands was also being built up in Karakou and all over the island, and it's something that happens. If you don't know about Tong, ask Tong people. You hear somebody from Granans just call and say, what is causing that green algae around? There's a thing that normally happens every now and again.
hold on, stick a pin there.
Yeah.
Hannah is saying, watch your motor. There was a Silver Sands in Karakou.
That was destroyed during Hurricane Ida. So we're talking about the one that's been built here too.
Yes, Hannah.
That you're talking right in front John's Unique. Well, I'm from
Right-
Karakou.
right
Don't
where
be
we-
rude.
Right where we sit down right there. Yeah.
Don't be rude, girl. Right in front John's Unique, across the road from John's Unique. Yeah. But anyhow, but they're having that problem in different areas in Karakou and so on too, and throughout the islands. It happens it's according to water temperature. It causes algae to bloom, and it happens every now and again. So it's nothing that is being done by any entity on the beach that is causing that. That happens every now and again. And you heard somebody who lived there all their life just say it on air. It happens, right? So we have that. Folks, just a note, aside from everything else, it looks like we're jumping all over, but just a note, there is a fake account in the name of Dame Cecile Lagrenade that's going around messaging people about a United Nations grant. Please immediately report such account to Facebook. Yeah? Because they're trying to scam you your money, and some people just ain't listening.
Yeah.
It is not the Governor General. It is not the Governor General. It is not the Governor General. Please immediately report it to Facebook. When enough of us report it, it will be removed. All right? Nice. Okay, let's take this call and then we'll continue.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello?
That sound like
Hi,
Carmen.
morning,
That
Devon and Sheldon.
sound like Carmen
Morning.
services.
Good morning to Grenada. Well, outside night today.
Yes.
Well, Grenada looking pretty good today, but the money don't rolling as it should.
All right.
Anyhow, thank God for the better price. And you know who is there? I say hello to Bingo in America. Bingo in Grenada. Yesterday I walked in America. This man walked inside my side. And I say hello to him in my side. And remember in the answer?
Yep.
Anyhow, I know Canada. We can watch that everybody. Good morning. Sheldon,
Yes, my love.
you know, I have a little message for the people of this country. Young men and young women, it's in the carnival season. So I want to advise them to be very careful in going and have sex, unprotected sex. You have to be careful. Some of you are on vacation, the young people, and you have to go back to school. People, you know, are sexually active. Use a condom. Because you have all kind of disease out there. I'm watching on Facebook with a thing that's eating up your body. Be careful. And the next thing, Mr. Scott, and I want you to continue when next week your program. Warn the young men to go with, not to go with young children. I just looking at the paper there. A man getting 11 years.
He ain't getting enough.
11 years for having sex with his stepdaughter. So my appeal out there to my children, other mothers' children, be very careful who you go and ask questions. Look for big woman. Look for big woman.
And it's
to tell you yes, not to go with little children because they're selling you in the jail. 11 years behind bars. That young man gets. So I warning all you. I warning my children. I warning all mothers' children. All you be careful. When are you going party, be careful. Use a condom. Okay? That is my speech for the weekend because a lot of things happening. And I want to play Carnival this year, you know.
Yes.
I want Mr. Bain thing. I just want any paper. I want to play a mouse this year, you know.
You're back in the business, girl.
Okay, so you all have a blessed weekend.
All right, Cammy.
Oh boy, like she phone cut off there. Yes, it did. Like Cammy back in the business, boy.
I word to the wise from Cammy to our young people. All right.
I wonder if Cammy services selling condoms too.
Well, most likely she'll tell you where to find.
Yeah, if she don't sell in, check Cammy. She'll tell you where to
she'll tell you exactly where to go.
If you're too ashamed to go and buy, give her the money. She'll buy it for you.
Just go by and whisper in she ears and say, Cammy so and so. Talk to her. I mean, we take Cammy's contribution.
It's embarrassing thing for some people to go and buy a condom.
Yeah, and I'm sure.
They just ain't going and do it.
So why?
They prefer not to use it rather than that to go and go through the embarrassment. That it's like, you know? So the people go know you're having sex. Duh. They don't know you're having sex when you're dead too.
Cammy's Jeffrey says good morning.
Yeah. So go and buy it, man. Don't shame to buy it. It's better.
Or go and talk to Cammy.
Go and talk to somebody and let it buy it for you. Okay.
You understand?
Or go in family planning, they have given away. Or you can check Grenchap, they have given away as well. Yeah, exactly. Grenchap gives away usually around the carnival time and so on. They have. You could check Grenchap. I think they're located down in Granans. Check Grenchap, check the Family Planning Association. They have giving away. So if you can't afford, they are free. You could get. Check them. In fact, I must pass in Grenchap or Family Planning and get 2 box. Have it there and share out.
And to share out.
Yeah.
To our young people. I mean, we know, you know, young people and so a lot of you, right, are sexually active. Protect yourself. Right? Prevention is better than the cure. And forget about the underage children, right? The 16 and under, leave them alone. You see what is going on? You see the amount of years and things these guys getting.
Leave children alone.
Okay, leave them alone. Right.
Yeah, man. So all you remember what Cammy say. Cammy say.
Many sexual diseases in all countries. Our patient living in misery. Some curable, some are not. I don't want to ever have an attack. This is a killer, hoppies have no cure. Protect yourselves wherever you go. Protect yourself. Keep sexual urges inside yourself. Protect yourself. Sexual disease will put you through hell. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Message and warning to everyone. Abstain from sex or use protection. And all those who want children, tested healthy partner is no problem.
All you can pay Jai Angel for that song.
Word of advice.
All you can pay Jai Angel for that song.
Yeah. Chris, you were trying to get in touch with me this morning, right? Sort of problem with phone and that kind of thing. Had. Yeah. So you definitely will have to make contact. All right.
All right, folks. Remember the number 4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Right. So we spoke a bit about the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Works, but there was one issue that Deepo was asking about, which is WRB.
Yes.
Now, WRB Enterprises, which is the parent company or the main shareholder in Grenlec, Grenada Electricity Services, has taken the government of Grenada to arbitration. In other words, they are asking the government of Grenada to buy the company. That's what they're asking, basically. Asking the government of Grenada to buy over Grenlec. It is a clause that was put into the 1994 stupid deal that was done. No, it's a stupid deal, and I have no excuse.
Deal.
I refuse to apologize for calling it what it was. The 1994 deal was a stupid one. Yeah? Because I can't understand how you could have put all those stupid clauses inside it. There's no other way to explain it. It was a stupid deal, right? But anyway, it was done. And one of the clauses inside there says that Grenlec could, through arbitration, try to force the government now to fine, I think it would be over $100 million or more.
160 something million.
Right, yeah. To buy back the company. So that's what government has tried negotiating with them. They have said, and this is according to Minister Bowen, they have said that they're not interested in remaining. They just want to sell the company and get out of it. It does not mean, though, that the workers at Grenlec need to be worried. It does not mean that they have to hold their head and ball and think that they're losing their job. Because all government was doing is getting Grenlec to the point where, one, some of the clauses that were put in that agreement back in 1994 and so, that those were reversed, that a fair deal was given to the Grenadian people. Also, that the cost of production would go down for companies like Grenlec. So in other words, instead of having to use all the petrocarb fuel, the diesel, for some diesel generators, instead of having to do that, that they would use things like solar and so on, which would mean that the company itself would be more profitable. They would make more money. Yeah, because they would be spending less on an input. They don't have to pay for the sunlight. They pay for the equipment to capture the sunlight, but they don't have to pay for the sunlight. But they have to pay for the generators and still pay for the fuel to run the generators to produce electricity, which is one of the reasons that the cost of electricity is what it is in Grenada. The other day I was hearing an idiot on radio speaking about, sorry, I shouldn't call him an idiot. Senator the Honorable Redhead was saying that how government is taxing the fuel that's being used by, that's untrue. Government is not taxing the fuel used by Grenlec to produce electricity. Yeah, so that's totally untrue. But WRB, they would like to pull out. Yeah, they would like to pull out of Grenada as it is right now, as it stands right now. They would like to pull out, and it means it offers the opportunity now for another company or companies to get the opportunity to come into Grenada. At the end of the day, government will do what is necessary. This new National Party government will do whatever is necessary, one, to protect the jobs of the workers who are working right now at the Grenada Electricity Services. Let me repeat that. The government of Grenada, this new National Party government, will do whatever is necessary to protect the jobs and the benefits of the workers who are presently attached to the Grenada Electricity Services. Secondly, this government will do whatever is necessary to ensure that the price of electricity goes down in Grenada. Yeah? That is why we've been assisted by New Zealand for the geothermal. That is why we're receiving assistance now through some of the climate change initiatives. We're receiving assistance to do these projects to get the price of electricity in Grenada down. And whether it is WRB or any other company that is willing to work along with the government to get that price down, the government will have to do what is in the best interest of the people of Grenada. The company had to do in the best interest of the company as they see fit, but the government of Grenada has a responsibility to you, the people of Grenada, to do what is necessary for the people of Grenada. That's the government's responsibility. The government's responsibility is not to WRB, it's to you, the Grenadian citizen. Yeah? The Honorable Oliver Joseph was speaking about it. The price of electricity in Trinidad, according to the figures that he gave, is 7 times cheaper than the price of electricity here in Grenada, which means that as one of the LDCs, lesser developed countries, the MDCs, more developed countries like Barbados and Trinidad and Jamaica, would want the opportunity to flood the Grenadian market with their products because they have a cheaper electricity production cost they would like to flood the Grenadian market with their products and so. For instance, instead of, they could send a carib over here that could probably be sold for $1.50. Yeah. They can send flour down here into Grenada that could be sold for less than the price of flour that we get from the flour mills. But at the end of the day, you're going to be sending Grenadian workers on the bread line.
Exactly.
Yeah? In the same way that the Taylor family stood up for Coca-Cola, the government has to stand up to protect local business. Everybody's asking about factories here. We have mangoes, and some of you driving and the mango just miss your windscreen. Yeah?
One miss me the other day, you know. I stand up under the tree and right in front of me, and I Calivini, you know.
Yeah. No, the one I doesn't eat, right? I like Calivini, but I ain't eating Calivini mango. But so the main thing is this: you must get the price of production down. So in order for us to get a cheaper price for flour here in Grenada, we need to get the price that the flour mill operates at. The electricity cost, let's say, and I don't know the cost of how much the flour mill pays for electricity, I'm saying it up front. Let's say that they're paying $15,000 a month or $20,000 a month in electricity. If we get that down by half, then we get their production costs down by a significant margin. Then we can get the price of flour in Grenada down while maintaining jobs here in Grenada. Yeah, the other option is to open the floodgates. Yeah, open the floodgates and allow all the products to come up from Trinidad and be dumped on us here in Grenada. And lose the jobs here in Grenada, so the people that work in the flour mills end up going home.
Can't afford that.
The people in the breweries, the Grenada breweries, end up going home. The people that working in Coca-Cola end up going home because you're getting a Coke for 50 cents.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah, you're getting a Coke for 50 cents. You're getting flour for, I don't know the price of flour, but whatever. You're getting it for half the price. So we have to have a balance. That is why the discussions between the government of Grenada and the Grenada Electricity Services Company is so very important. The mangoes that everybody complaining about, that falling off,
and the
French cashew, the breadfruit, all of these things are just falling and spoiling all over the place, can be utilized in a proper structure where the price of production is low enough. Not only that we can use for personal consumption here in Grenada, but that we can also take and probably export to other countries, because we know we have better mango than everybody else in the Caribbean.
Yes. And qualities and
my family in Trinidad don't vex with me, but seriously,
no, they can't touch Grenada.
You don't have better mango down there than we have up here.
And different type of species of mango. We have hundreds, in my view.
We have mango here that could give you diabetes.
Yeah.
First they're sweet.
First they're sweet.
Yeah.
Sugar under the skin.
We have mango here, you just watch it and your blood sugar does go up.
Yeah.
First it's sweet.
First it's sweet.
Yeah.
I glitter.
Tambran.
Yeah, again.
Which is beginning to look as a superfood. A lot of people are showing interest in Tambran. Lowers blood pressure. It's good for people with diabetes. It reduces the amount of sugar in your blood and that sort of thing. So a lot of interest is beginning to be shown in Tambran. Yeah? And we have it lap and cut here in Grenada. So there are a lot of things that we have in Grenada here that can be produced into products to be used by us as Grenadians, but also for export. The problem is the price of production. We have the Frequente Industrial Park, we have the Industrial Park in Simoon, but the price of production, the cost of electricity, 7 times more than it is in Trinidad, is causing our goods to be more than what comes out of Trinidad. I imagine they make it in Trinidad, put it on a boat or a plane, ship it up here, and it's still cheaper than something being made here.
Definitely.
So, Minister was at a meeting where countries like Trinidad and so agreed with countries like Grenada and St. Vincent and so on, that we can keep a certain level of higher taxation on items that are also being produced in Grenada, so that if these items are coming in from Trinidad, the flour and so on, because of the level of taxation that's applied, it would give the local business a fighting chance. Yeah, so the price you'd have to sell it at would give the local business a fighting chance, but it is only in place for a certain period of time. Yeah, and I think we need to get the Honorable Oliver Joseph inside to speak to us. Honorable Clarice Modest has already said she's ready to come.
Yeah.
So we have to get her to come inside here. And then Honorable Nolan Cox And then, so we had to bring the crew inside. Nice.
Yeah, we had to start shaking up the crew and get them inside of here.
So that is the situation with WRB. WRB has stated its intent to go. Yeah, it has stated its intent. They're looking to.
They're looking to go.
Apparently, that is what the impression that they have given to government, or what they have said to government. Whatever, it seems as though they're ready to go. So
they are satisfied and their bellies are full. So they have no.
Well, so I can again say that the new National Party government will do whatever in its power to ensure the safety and security of the jobs of Grenlec workers. Yeah, the workers who are working with Grenlec. So you don't have to hurt your head, you don't have to scratch your head, you don't have to start to cry. Government will do all in its power to ensure the safety of your jobs and your benefits along with your jobs and so on. And in addition, it has to do what it has to do to benefit you in another way by ensuring more job creation in Grenada and the lowering of the cost of foodstuffs produced here in Grenada, because we produce pasta and thing here, curry powder and so is produced here as well, different spices and so produced here. We even have toilet paper and so produced here. So there are different things that are produced here that we have to ensure the price can be reduced so that the average basket of food, when you go to Andals or you go to Foodland or you go to Food Fair, the place where you could get your recycled bags and them kind of thing, Food Fair, right? So that when you go to our good friend Kenny Lal Singh's place there, Calico. Yeah, so that when you go to him or Philbert Brothers or whoever you go to, that the price at the basket of good is reduced for you, the Grenadian taxpayer. That is what is taking place. It's not anybody have a bad mind against a company. It is we have a bad mind against unfairness for the Grenadian people. So we're trying to make sure that a fair playing field is set in place for you, the average consumer here in Grenada, but also for the average worker to be able to maintain their job or have different jobs that they can go to, or jobs for some of the hundreds of young people that just left TAMCC yesterday. And congratulations to you all for completing your term of study and graduating. Yeah. So that providing opportunities for these young people and for people who are in their middle age and elder as well, they can also find opportunities in some of the businesses that can be started up and expanded if we get the cost, or when, because it's not a matter of if, but when we get the cost of electricity, because we are losing this fight. We must get the cost of electricity down.
We can't lose that fight.
It's not a fight against WRB. It's a fight against high electricity costs. Whether it's WRB remains and gets the cost down, or a new company or companies come in and get the cost down, the bottom line, we got to get the cost down. And we ain't losing that. That has to happen for our economy to move forward. So that's the situation with WRB. But also, Honorable Oliver Joseph spoke about a national export strategy. And part of that is lowering the electricity price so that your goods can become competitive on the regional and international market. So that is something that's being worked on right now. And also working along with cooperatives to ensure that you have cooperatives for production. Rather than the one guy going and grow sweet peppers here, that you have 20 growing sweet peppers, and then they provide that to a cooperative of women who doing the bottling and so on for pepper sauce and for different things like that, and pickles and all of that. So creation of those cooperatives, agricultural cooperatives, furniture building cooperatives, fishing cooperatives, and so on, because together we are stronger. To ensure that it's done like that.
Just a note before as we come closer to it. Kirani James runs
tomorrow.
This weekend. Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I can't remember where I went.
St. Kitts, I think.
Let me check passport.
Yeah, somewhere in St. Kitts tomorrow. So hey, we gotta tune in, man. Kirani is on the road.
Yes, so he's in Nevis on Sunday. Braylon is also there, I believe.
First and second.
So that'll be in Nevis on Sunday. Yeah?
First and second, either way. Yeah, so we know we're looking up that. Yeah, we're looking up bad, big time.
Rest of them could come and collect the licks.
They'll come and collect the bronze and the fourth and fifth place and thing. But
no. Kirani is actually competing in London on Saturday.
Okay, and Braylon.
And Braylon is competing in Nevis on Sunday.
Okay.
So Kirani is competing in his third race for the season at the Muller Anniversary Games. That's part of the Diamond League.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Saturday in London. We'll get the correct time and put it out on Hard Talk as we usually do, and a link for you to view it. And Braylon will be at the Culturama Games in Nevis on Sunday. Right? So we'll get the link for that as well and give it to you.
Wonderful.
And remember Doc's Challenge Trophy in Bojeju tomorrow?
Tomorrow evening at 2.
Yeah, from 2. Go back, right? Yeah, so we have that one. Oh boy, if we go into the one with Honorable Emlyn P, I don't think we have enough time.
You don't have time because you don't want to give people half-hearted information.
But let's see if we could deal with at least an aspect of it. You see the eye start up again, huh? Yeah, we're getting close to 12 o'clock, so you know, medication time. Medication time again. Yeah. So the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, she spoke about having a broad-based consultation with different sectors within the educational field. So she has been to Carriacou, where herself and the PS, Mr. Finley Jeffrey, PS Finley, PS Jeffrey, where they have met with parents, they've met with teachers, they've met with students, and so on, and other stakeholders in Carriacou. They've been doing the same around different parts of the island. They've met with the Principals Association, they've met with different sectors, teachers, and so on, and of course meeting with students themselves, the people who are receiving the education. And so having that approach, getting a greater feel as to the direction that the ministry should take. And you realize there's a seismic shift in the Ministry of Education in relation to their approach to the field of education, a revolutionary approach, I dare say. And revolution in a positive sense in this instance when it comes to the Ministry of Education. Minister also mentioned that they on the search for a chief education officer, because the last chief education officer is now also a PS. I think they've lost him to the PS, as he's now the PS in the Ministry of Agriculture. So they've lost the last chief education officer. So any one of you listening in Brooklyn and you want to become the chief educational officer in your homeland of Grenada, the job is available. Come down. Feel free. Yeah, you might be here during the carnival. Apply. Yeah, apply. Yeah, you understand? We're looking for the best. Yeah, no, don't come by Sheldon. I ain't doing no, I don't take any part in that. Go to the Ministry of Education, the Public Service Commission, whoever you have to go to, apply down there. Alright? Nice. Yeah, also repairs under a CDB program to some of the schools. That's the Presentation Brothers College, Grenada Christian Academy, Grenada 7-Day Comprehensive, Bishop's College, J.W. Fletcher Memorial. So there are construction works to take place, repair works and expansion and so on in some instances. So those schools under CDB program that will begin pretty soon. I think the scheduled time is beginning of 2019. Yeah, because you have to make sure when you're doing something, you do it proper. Children's lives are at stake here. We can't go vai wishy-washy and just run and say we're going and fix things and we're going and do things. Do it properly. So the minister, and if I know Honorable Emlyn Pear, I know she ain't going and do no wish-wash. She doing it proper. So the Presentation Brothers College, Grenada's Christian Academy, Bishop's College up there in Carriacou, Grenada 7-Day Comprehensive School, J.W. Fletcher Memorial, those are some of the schools that will be under that program. She spoke of the CPEA exam. I think 198 students were retained back in the primary school, 1,000 plus was sent forward. 198, boy. Yeah, means we have a lot of work to do with them still. Yeah, a lot of work. Yeah, that's the part we ain't happy about. We want to see zero left back, and not because we have a system in place where you just take could read, can't read, could add, can't add, and shove them into the secondary school system. No. If you can't go, you can't go. Do the remedial work. And parents, you are your part to play. Don't leave it up to your teachers. Yeah, especially that 198 there. There is a lot of parents blame too, not just the teachers. Well, the teachers can take all that blame because if you're not getting the support from home, they can't get the children up to that level. The same way you want to praise everybody, and so you have to take some of the blame at times. Yeah, so that 198. That's just a quick one on the Ministry of Education.
And that will be sort of easy because it's spread right around Grenada, Carco, and Petit Martinique. So in one school, you may just have one or two persons, basically.
You think we could come back to the Honorable Nicholas Steele before we get a big stone?
Yeah,
Garfield morning, eh? I ain't see you, I ain't hear you, man. Garfield.
Because even that whole the whole fogging thing that's going on.
They're fogging up the place.
Yeah, they fogging up the place. So a lot of persons have been calling and asking about the mosquito problems, and so rest assured that the Ministry of Health has an ongoing program at this point in time, fogging the different areas. You may not see them perhaps in the last week or so, but trust me, they will be in your area.
Okay, I see Blossom boasting that she's gonna see the race because she works at the stadium.
Yeah.
Chris know the time, so I feel Chris go head down there too. So those are you in London, you're heading down to see him. Muscles, good morning to you, bro. Well, we know it go, but Muscles, just let me and Devon know when you're paying down the pot.
Yes.
Because we know you is one of the best people when it comes to being a chef. And I know you just had a nice okra and all them things mix up nice. That you will set up Devon nicely.
Yeah, a real ital food.
A real individual pot. And no, watch, my mouth does water when I see some of your pot Muscles. I ain't lying. Serious. I'm being honest. My mouth does water. Yeah, that's why I don't like to see none when I'm on air because I just get hungry.
But see, you got serious oil on cooking for this carnival. You know?
Get a real breadfruit.
Oh man, yes. Breadfruit all day.
Getting quickly back to the Honorable Nicholas Steele and the Ministry of Health. The nurses who were under the Gren Case program, they have been taken into the system. In fact, the supplementary that has been done takes that into consideration as well, because if they was getting a certain salary, they're going to be getting a little more on the salary. Yes, so those nurses and nursing assistants who are under the Gren Case program now being shifted into the Ministry of Health full-time as promised. I'll tell you, man, thanks for keeping the promise now. The Honorable Nicholas Steele and the government of Grenada, this new National Party administration, has kept its promise to the nurses under the Gren Case program.
He has been working hard over the last couple of months.
Not under the who used to be under the Gren Case program. Yeah? So now you had to put a little extra money in the kitty there for them so they could get the little increases. And so what they was working for before is not what they're going to be working for now. It could be more they'll be working for now. Additional to that, though, the minister ain't forget the other nurses in the system, because he did mention in Parliament that they're working now on making some of these nurses, they've been there for such a long time. Some of them have upgraded themselves in various ways, and they have not gotten the additional money that they should be getting for doing that. So he is working along with the DPA. They're working the Department of Public Administration.
Yeah.
I think that's what. Yeah. They're working along with DPA to ensure now Minister Steele and his team, the Ministry of Finance, DPA, working along now to ensure that these nurses, and nurses, I know you all love to hear that. We had to do a program on all your alone. First of all, watch, I love you all. Devon, send a kiss with them.
No, I ain't saying yeah, male nurse too. I ain't saying no kiss on no male nurse.
Yeah, my point there, you know.
I got you.
Pull back. Let me pull back. Dr. Thomas, good morning.
You got to the kiss on male nurse. I have to watch you, Sheldon.
I started to pull back there, man. Let me make it clear that was only for the female nurses.
For the female. a bounce on the male nurse.
So they're working along because the senior nurses now, the other nurses that have been within the system for a long time, before this group of nurses that are coming in, their salary has to see a little something going on. Nobody in Grenada go fault nurses. We want to see they get a little something extra. Yeah? And a little something extra for the uniform and thing too. I see some nurse and them there. Wee papa. Anyhow, so a little extra something. Right? There's also work on increasing the stock of doctors. But what has been happening is that you have had doctors resigning from the service.
Yeah, and going to the private practice.
They're going into the private practice. Some have been going out to train to further themselves. So whether it's on vascular surgery, whether it's on neurosurgery, whether it's on different things like cardiology and so on.
So they're going
and specialize.
Okay.
But remember, when they come back, some of them are not going back to work in the government service. Yeah. They're going and they do their private thing. So you have that constant battle of getting doctors and losing doctors. So Cuba has been providing assistance with some doctors for Grenada. The minister has been in constant contact, and we like to thank again the Cuban people. You know your friends when they give, when they don't have.
Yeah.
When somebody have a lot and they can give, it don't really,
Yeah.
that ain't hurting them. But when you only have 50 cents and somebody come and ask you and you give them the whole 50 cents. Yeah, so Cuba has been the people that given us the whole 50 cents. They don't have, for themselves.
And has been for a number of years.
But they're trying their best and give to us. And we like to thank again the Cuban people for their continued support of the people of Grenada. So while we lose, some doctors have been resigning from the service. Some have been going because the United States ain't turning away a doctor if they apply for a visa or a green card.
United Kingdom, Canada.
They ain't turning away a qualified doctor. That's one thing they ain't telling, don't come. So some have been flying out, going to different countries. And so some have been leaving to go. Some have been resigning from the job. Some have been going into private practice. And so due to that, you have some doctors coming in. And at the same time, you might have 3 come in, you have 2 go. And then you try to get to replace the 2, so you get 2 to replace the 2 and the next 1 go.
Yeah.
So it's been a constant back and forth. No fault of the government, but doctors, they see themselves, you went on a train and you spend all your sleepless nights and so on, they want to make a money too, so they've been going out. Work on the Princess Alice Hospital, I think that's due to begin, if it hasn't begun already, it's due to begin. The Guave Polyclinic, which he has been speaking about several times. He has issued a challenge to the Calypsonians that you are allowed to sing and cuss him if the sod isn't turned and the work started on that before Carnival. He has issued a challenge to the Calypsonians. The Honorable Nicholas Steele say you could sing a song on him and cuss him if the sod isn't turned on the Guave Polyclinic. Because remember, that clinic is going to serve that West Coast. So in case of an emergency, it's going to be a standalone facility for the people of St. Mark and the people of St. John and the
even
people
St.
of
Patrick's.
St. Patrick, and even maybe some from the northern part of Northwest St. George.
Yeah.
If they can't come down, they might have to go up and that sort of thing.
Up, yeah.
So it's going to provide that service for those people, right? Dialysis, perinatal. Is it perinatal? No, I can't remember the proper term. I don't want to go and say the wrong thing. But anyway, is dialysis not in the normal way that they have dialysis? Yeah? So they are still testing it out together with one of the world's major pharmaceutical companies. They're testing out doing that new form of dialysis at the General Hospital with a few patients. It has been working pretty well so far with some of them. Some of them, due to the level of kidney damage that they have suffered, they have to go back to the normal type of dialysis and so.
Okay.
But it has been working with a few. Also being put in place is a mobile screening unit. So you don't want to wait until you're having funny pains or you collapse to bring you in the hospital to find out your kidney's gone. The Ministry of Health is creating a mobile screening unit so they can go around from Petit Martinique to Point Saline, going around Madame Pierre down to Point Saline, right? Yeah. So going right around the islands to ensure that they screen people so you could detect if they are having kidney problems early on. So maybe you might be able to save them from having to end up on dialysis later on. Yeah? So that is something that's being done. And also they're going to train a nephrologist. That's the person who deals with kidney problems. The promise has been made that we're going to have a trained nephrologist, Grenadian trained nephrologist here in Grenada. So working on getting that done as well. Honorable Nicholas Steele, yeah, your work cut out for you, and on top of that, you get a pile of ambulance, you have 5 on order, you get 3 already, you're finishing phase 2 at the accident and emergency, and what they call it again? Where you could do your x-rays and your all sort of thing.
The emergency.
X-ray, emergency, all of those things you could be done there. You're completing the work on that sector as well. Man, you're working. Yeah, I know other people couldn't talk, so, when they're talking about the Minister of Health, it used to be, how come we haven't seen her for the longest while? Anytime we're talking about the Minister of Health, used to be, how come we ain't hearing her? How come we ain't seen her?
No, we have a very good manager, someone who has been able to manage and put the healthcare system into perspective where it's supposed to be.
And Devon, it still has so much thing to talk about and we out of time.
Oops.
What that time, I thought,
time.
watch that parliament sitting. All you realize I didn't even talk about Dr. Mitchell yet. Yeah. Good morning to you, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Security. If he ain't listening, tell him we say good morning. Yeah. Tell him me and Devon say good morning.
Doc, morning.
Yeah, morning, Doc. Cricket tomorrow.
Yeah, cricket tomorrow.
Right.
It's a pity in the final.
You have a trophy to present tomorrow. You can't present it to yourself, no.
Doc, I want to be the umpire.
I will hear about you and Doc tomorrow. Yeah, so remember the Doc Challenge Trophy that's taking place tomorrow. Also tonight, up in Northwest, the Northwest Brigade, down at Dragons Bay. There's going to be facing the judges tonight, the Northwest Brigade, Zinga and his crew, Baraka, and a lot of them. They're going to be there. This young lady, Superstar's sister, she's the present police champion, I believe. Yeah, she's also going to be down there. Sheldon Douglas. A lot of them, the Northwest Brigade, they're in action tonight. That's going to be down at the Dragons Bay. So in case you're looking for a place to go, you could go there.
Dragon Bay tonight.
Nice. Yeah, Dragon Bay will be ding tonight. Real nice. All right, folks. You see, when you're putting out information, people doesn't call, eh? So we know that you've been listening. Miss Clytie, good morning. Right. Miss Bernice, good morning. Nice.
From slavery to emancipation, yes. Peter Bain, yes, and the upper level promotion up there in Grenville. Slavery to emancipation. Go and be part of the carnival frolic, Go and get your costumes. Yep. Plenty of colors.
And folks, remember Helen Marie?
Helen Marie.
Yeah. Elantra. Listen.
She got it.
For this weekend only. We're giving you a special, but I can't say the special that we're giving for Helen Marie Band this weekend on air.
No, we
what
can't
I can tell you to do: 1, drop on the bus, head by the NIS, the first NIS building, the original NIS building. There used to be police barracks at that time.
Yeah.
For old people that will know that one. Yeah. So the original NIS building, go there, go by the mall, ask for Helen Marie. Yeah. Tell Helen Marie, Devon and Sheldon send you. And she's going to give you this weekend's special deal on a costume for either you
or your child.
And here's what. This weekend as well, she has a special for groups. So if 3 or more persons come to play, she will give you a certain percentage off on your costumes.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
So go and check her. But I can't say it on air.
No, we can't tell you on air. You have to go.
Second way,
you have to go.
Take this number. Pull your pen. Pull your phone.
Touch the screen.
Tap the screen.
Yes.
533-3351. Now, I say it how we just talk. Other than that, I say 533-3351. But now, we in Grenada, we talking to each other. 533-3351. Right? Nice. Not 533-3351. No.
3351.
Right?
Yes.
Nice. So 533-3351. Call Helen Marie. Call her now. Tell Helen, Devon and Sheldon send you for the special.
This weekend.
This weekend only.
You have to go this weekend, today and tomorrow.
This weekend only. She has some young people and them, they're busy making costume and all kind of thing already. So whether it's for your children, whether you want the neighborhood children play as a group, you want to sponsor 1 or 2 children and so, you never could tell. You might bring 3 and she might give you an extra 1.
You understand?
So organize.
Get involved.
They could play mass because the only way for us to continue our culture is to get involved ourselves and get our children involved. Check Peter Bain, check Helen Marie, play mass and continue the culture. Folks, we heading out.
We heading out. And hey, Kirani James and Brilliant Taplin, they are on the tracks this weekend. London and Insane Kids.
Yes, indeed. And folks, we're going to head out with a tune by Steve Theodore. Yeah, we're going to head out with a tune by Steve Theodore. This is one of my favorites ever. One of my favorite tunes ever. We're going to head out with that particular tune. But remember, a lot of people talking, oh, this ain't doing, that ain't doing. If they listen hard, talk today, they'll learn a little bit about what we're doing.
Well, a little bit, they get,
They get a dose.
Yeah.
Right? And so you all have things to tell them. When they're talking now and they're saying nothing being done, explain to them what is taking place. Because I ain't even get into Honorable Kate Lewis presentation, Honorable Pamela Moses presentation with the scholarships, the 106 scholarships that already have been given for the year so far.
We ain't talk housing yet,
We ain't talk Honorable Peter David presentation where he's talking about the scholarships from Morocco and the other things that we've been getting and assistance and connections that we've been making to assist you, the average Grenadian, on a daily basis. You think Peter walking in joke? Watch, we go talk about him on Monday. And on top of that, we still ain't even touch the Prime Minister's presentation. Yeah, and the bills that will pass. So we have a lot to speak about during next week. There should be a Senate sitting during the week next week. I'm not sure I'll be here on Monday though. Maybe you flying solo alone on Monday. Don't have one. But folks, we're heading out of here. I'd like to thank all the radio stations for being with us for this entire week. All the callers, all the contributors.
All those of you on the live.
Yeah, the live people. You know we love you all. We love you all. We love you all. Yeah, we love each and every one of you. And it's been wonderful being here. And everything you say, everything you do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
And we are out of here.
Peace out.
Safe for the weekend and see you in Bojeju tomorrow evening.
Yep.
What you come here for? What you come here for? What you come here? What you come here? What you come here for?